Hello, this video is going to help you do some example problems on Zearn for lesson 11 tiny tiles, and I'm going to do some of the Tower of Power. All right, here we go. So we are working with area, and we need to figure out what model represents these two dimensions. So when we have a whole number and a fraction, that matches one side. So I'm already looking at this one right off the bat. I have 3 1/3, not just 3, so I cannot use that one. Let's check this one. This has 3 1/3, good. And this has 2 1/2, perfect. I don't even need to check this one because they switched the whole numbers and fractions. So this is the model we want to use because it's showing how you split up the whole number from the fraction, but it's still on the same side. So I'm not mixing them up. This still represents 3 1/3 and 2 1/2. Okay, so here's an example of how you would solve this type of problem. They're using partial products. So what that means is this is why it's split up into 4 parts. I'm going to take turns multiplying each one of these dimensions and side lengths until I get my total, and I'm going to add them up. So first side, you're going to do 3 times 2, just 6. Next, you're going to do 2 times 1/3, and remember, you only multiply your whole number with your numerator, not the denominator. So thirds is going to stay the same, but you are multiplying 2 times 1, so we're going to have 2/3. All right, next, you have 3 times 1/2. So again, whenever you do a whole number times a fraction, keep that denominator the same. That's going to be halves. But you have 3 times 1, that'd be 3/2. Okay, and next one, you have a fraction times a fraction. So that means we multiply straight across for both the numerator and the denominator. So 1 times 1 is 1. And then 2 times 3 for your denominator is going to be 6. Okay. Now the next part is adding these, one step before that. They want you to tell the units for area. Okay, well, every time we have an area of a rectangle, I like to think of it as like a 2D shape. So units squared. For volume, we have a 3D shape, which means 3-dimensional, units cubed. So for this, we have a flat figure here. So it's going to be units squared, a 2-dimensional shape. Okay, now is where you add all of these parts together. So we have 6 plus 2/3 plus 3/2 plus 1/6. Well, I cannot, unfortunately, just add all of these fractions up as they are. They need to have a common denominator. So let's figure that out now. So I see sixths, and I know that thirds and halves can be changed into sixths. I'm going to do 2/3 first. And I'm going to ask myself, what can I multiply 2/3 by to get sixths? 2. So I have to do that for both the numerator and the denominator to get an equivalent fraction. So I'm going to end up with 4/6. And I'm going to keep that there for a second. All right, next one, I have 3/2. And I also want that to be sixths. So I'm going to multiply each, the numerator and the denominator, by 3. And I'm going to get 9/6. Okay, let me just add these 2 parts first so I can get that out of the way, and then we'll finish adding the rest of them. So we have 4/6 plus 9/6. So we're going to get 13/6 so far. Okay, then we have to add another 6 in the corner plus 6 wholes. Okay, so that would leave us with 6 wholes and 14/6. But this is an improper fraction. Let's take the whole number out of this and see what we have left over. So how many times can 6 fit into 14? Ooh, 2 times. And then there's 2 6 left over. So I'm going to rewrite this to be 8 and 2/6. All right, hopefully that helps you with your Zearn lesson.